Hello, Professor McEwen here, and what we're going to be looking at today is how to do the opinion assignment discussion question. In your opinion, what does that actually mean? Well, everyone has an opinion on something. What is the best basketball player in the world? Who's the best singer in the world? What was the best TV show in the world? And of course, we have all our own opinions. But understand what makes that opinion valid is that if you do not back it up by facts, it's just that. It's just an opinion. And it's not a very good opinion. So let's look at an example of a bad opinion versus a good opinion. Um, let's say the question was, in your opinion, who was the worst president in United States history? Well, this is something that on both the political right and political left, they like to talk about in current American history. Well, for example, Donald Trump is the worst president in history of the United States because how he handled COVID-19, and he's a racist. Okay? Now, the thing is, well, what did he specifically do to handle COVID-19, and what specifically makes him a racist? On the other side, they'll say, well, Joe Biden's the worst president in the history of the United States because he let 10 million illegal immigrants across the border, a majority of them criminals. Well, what percentage of actually are criminals, and what did he specifically do to let them in? Well, both of these opinions are not very valid compared to this one. James Buchanan is the worst president in the history of the United States. Since presidential survey has been conducted by historians, Buchanan has always finished last. He was president when South Carolina seceded from the Union and other states would follow, creating the Confederate States of America. He did nothing to prevent this, unlike President Jackson did earlier, and the result was the American Civil War, the bloodiest conflict in U.S. history, over 700,000 killed, more than all of the wars in United States history. Now, what we see here is that it has facts. Those facts are backed up by analysis. This is what you're trying to achieve when doing these assignments. So let's look at the requirements. Your post and response. Well, first, in the assignment, you must write in a Word document at least 2 paragraphs. 5 is the maximum. So the more you write, the better I guarantee you your assignment will be. It must be 200 words to 500 words. So therefore, if you write 199 words or more than 500 words, yeah, 199 is below 200. And what does not count in the word count is your works cited page or endnotes page, or do not put the question in your post. Also, do not write, well, according to the textbook on page 32, according to Professor McEwen in his lecture, yada, yada. That's just fluff. You're just trying to add words. And that does not make a good writing assignment. You must contain 2 facts with analysis. So let's say you're just going to write 2 paragraphs, the minimum. So the first paragraph would contain a fact and give analysis on those facts. Then the second paragraph will contain a fact and analysis of that facts. Now you have to at least have 2 facts. You can have as many facts as you want, as much analysis as you want in doing your assignment. Now spelling, punctuation, and grammar count. And for this U.S. veteran, please capitalize the United States. Then this will check for the similarity score, and it has to be 25% or less. Now, you get to post it 3 times in the assignment section to check for the similarity, and it's got to be below 25% or no credit will be given. After that, post the discussion and respond to one student in the class. You can respond to as many students as you like. Now let's look at the similarity score. Now the textbook, the entire textbook is in Turnitin system under Course Hero. The video lectures and the new Colossus, and this is an AMH 2010 and AMH 2020 classes, are also all in Turnitin system. So don't think you could just like kind of paraphrase that or borrow from it and it's not going to take a hit. It will take a hit. Now, usually the reason for a high score, and I've been using Turnitin for 25 years, is that too much comes from the textbook or my own writing the new Colossus and you're passing it off as your own work, or including the discussion question in your assignment. And this will actually cause problems as well. Are citations required? Citations are not, because this is no longer a formal writing class. But it would be safe to say that you should include them, and it's also good practice. Now, understand, the only sources you're allowed to use is the textbook, the video lectures, and the new Colossus. If it's discovered you're using other internet sources or anything else in helping in writing those assignments, then there could be penalties could apply. You can use MLA, APA, or the Chicago Manual of Style and to cite your sources. It doesn't matter to me. I know how to use all three. So final tips and takeaways. Start early. Do not wait until the last hour because bad things are known to happen. For example, don't write your paper when you are coming back from work because sometimes you're held back. And I don't accept excuses. These are due on Fridays at 11:59 p.m., so make sure you give yourself enough time to complete it. Do not plagiarize. If I suspect plagiarism, I'll use Turnitin to check and other sources as well. If it's discovered, no credit will be given. I will also check any previous discussion or assignments for plagiarism. If it's discovered, this could lead to failure to a course, and this happened to one student, unfortunately, was caught near with the 2 weeks to go in the course, and then the student was making an A and discovered not only plagiarism, but also the use of AI. So please don't be that student. Do not forget to respond. Even those points can go a long way because this is 5% of your total grade. Missing that can be 1%. And I hate to see you miss a higher grade just by 1% because I do not round up. Do not use AI. I always look at it this way. If you have to use AI to get yourself through college, that means you never learned how to think critically and think on your feet, and you will be exposed once you get out into the real world. Because if you have to use AI to try to pass the class, that means you can get replaced by AI. This could also lead to failure to the assignments and also the course. Anything over 50% that's detected by AI, automatic 0.